live. Somebody, Baba Gashah.
I'm checking the feed. It just
No, I just pressed live now, so just give us a second, Baba Gashah. Shalom, shalom. Give us a second.
We're live and we got sound.
Okay, come the water. Good.
All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We are the brothers of the Great Millstone. We don't have the Cleveland out here, just us in Wisconsin. All right, so we're the brothers of the Great Millstone, Chicago, and we got the Wisconsin brothers here. And first and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, qadash.
Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that's doing this work around the four corners of the earth. To the scattered elect, that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen. And to those few aquas that are listening and learning, we give a hearty and truthful shalom. And I want to open with a statement in the scripture. That statement being that American media has been pushing this narrative over months past, how the Russians were losing soldiers every day, who walked the bound, and they were dying, and they were, all these other things. When it's beyond obvious that is not true, because if that were the case, why do you keep needing to send billions of dollars over them for support if they were winning? And then all of a sudden, all the threats of the food famine, and the reason why there's a control over the food famine is because. It's because Russia is winning and controlling every damn thing, and they've taken over the food basket, the food area, and it's not looking good for America and the West or any of its allies. As a matter of fact, every ally to America is suffering financially, and suffering a financial breakdown and collapse of their financial systems. And they're oppressing their own people as a result of it, because they're linked up with America, which is making it obvious when as to why the nation shall hate the whore. But if somebody can bring out Jeremiah 49:7, Baba Gashah.
Jeremiah 49:7, and it reads, "Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent?"
So it's beyond clear that that the leaders of the Western world are quite dumb. Is quite frankly, they're dumb AF, as the kids say. All right, because anybody who follow America at this point, you dumb AF. All right, real talk. All right, because they make decisions that are not logical, not helpful to themselves or to the what's that scripture? He who is wicked to himself. If somebody want to grab that, but if you're right, if you would play that first clip,
the first one.
You want
to put it right now?
Put it in right now, brother.
Okay.
And then whatever and after that, whatever scriptures you brothers got, let them fly. But yeah, this actually should lift you brother's spirit. These couple quick clips, not that one. I sent you another one.
I got a bunch of them. So, which one? The first one, second one? That was the first one you sent.
Let me see if it went through. This one, and it went through. I sent it.
Yeah, it's on one of them. I had to find which one that link was. Salakia. I tried this one.
Send it again.
It's not that one, right?
No, that's actually probably the next one.
No.
I just sent it again, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's in the lineup.
This is in the lineup. Let's go to
sent it in the info.
No, yeah, I know. He
No, I
sent it to me.
straight to him.
So now I got to resend it to you.
Because that's on my other phone. This one don't have the group me on.
Why did I get in there?
Yeah, they got right
This
there.
right here?
Yes, sir.
The mainstream media is lying.
I got you. 1 second. Did somebody read this? Am I? We pull this up. The elder Benji put this on the screen. That scripture. Yeah, Baba Bashar.
Isaiah 33. I get it.
19 and 14.
This is
Woe to
Isaiah 33:1.
Yep, I'm finna
woe
read it.
to
This is Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. And I'm sorry, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
That's it. You can break it down. You can break it down here.
Yeah. So Esau is got himself in the trick bag that he still don't want to deal with or see, but he can. Everything around him is crumbling under the pressure of these scriptures. Okay. I got something Jeremiah. I'm starting at 20 and read down to 22. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh.
What chapter?
Oh, this is Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise there was heard in the Red Sea. I mean, this is going to escalate to the point where the scripture says the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard.
Ezekiel 25:13.
Will we get that, man?
Right now.
I got it. Okay. This is Ezekiel 25 and 13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom and will cut off man and beast from it.
All the people dying from something that went wrong that was supposed to help people. And all of the beasts dying. You know, you got, this was the 98th food facility that mysteriously just caught on fire. You know, I guess you just got spontaneous combustion in all these food places. All right, and then you got beasts just dropping dead in places it's supposedly from heat exhaustion, and in places where it wasn't even that hot. But you know, I digress. But continue.
It says, and I will make it desolate, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Right. Go ahead, break it
And
down.
ultimately, that's the missiles, because what's happening right now is before a world's war happens, there's something called proxy wars. And we're in the stages of proxy wars right now. Okay, so this is why the whole situation with Ukraine is going on, the whole situation with China and Taiwan is going on. So the scriptures is telling you that, well, I believe it's in Isaiah, the 13th chapter, where it says the Lord mustered up the host of the battle. So that's what's going on right now. The Lord is mustering up the host of the battle,
Like the
for
scripture
the World War III.
Like the scripture said, the least is drawing them into it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least she'll draw them out, which is speaking about those little head people.
Exactly.
But let's hear the details of how these people are going to turn on them and draw everybody out.
Right.
Go ahead, play that, brother.
I'm surprised they didn't kill him.
Give me a second. It's buffering. Just 1 second.
The war is going catastrophically for Ukraine. The Russians are relentlessly winning. And they're going to take over huge swaths of territory of this country. Because I'm in Ukraine right now. I'm in the city of Kharkov. I hear, rather, the shelling every day. And the shelling gets closer every day. The mainstream media is lying to you. The Russians are winning definitively. And because they are winning so definitively, and they have no intention of stopping, I mean, why would they? They're winning. Well, the Biden administration finds itself that they have put all of their chips on Ukraine, and Ukraine is definitively losing. It's quite frankly a miracle that the Ukrainian armed forces is still standing after the annihilation it has received. It is inconceivably horrible what has happened to these young men, and every single one of them is a brave man with a family, and they died pretty much for nothing except the desires of the Biden administration. And now the Biden administration finds itself with a catastrophic loss, and so they are going to escalate. And the way it seems that they are going to escalate is by creating a situation, an incident in Lithuania. Lithuania, one of the Baltic republics, one of the members of NATO, well, the Baltic Republic of Lithuania has cut off access of Russian railway to Kaliningrad. Now, for those of you who don't know, basically, here's Russia, here is Lithuania, and over here is a little piece called Kaliningrad that's on the Baltic Sea. Now, this was captured in the Second World War, but it's detached from the mainland of Russia. Lithuania is between them. And Lithuania had an agreement, a long-standing agreement, over 30 years, that they would never impede any train between Russia and Kaliningrad. That they would basically consider that train like a corridor that could go back and forth between Kaliningrad and Russia. And now they've cut it. And now they are making moves in terms of moving troops. Now, Lithuania has a microscopic army, but the Polish army is also on the move. The Polish army has been making moves on the Belarusian border. All of this leads me to conclude, realistically, that at this time, there is the intention by NATO to provoke the Russians into defending Kaliningrad. Now, Kaliningrad,
Okay.
the war is going
Then I go right to the next one. Did y'all hear that? Polish army is on the move. Lithuanian army is on the move. Right? And they cut off this railway to this little spot. I forget the name of it. That's vital to Russia.
Right.
All right. And so, what do you think the Russians are going to do to the Lithuanians and Polish? Because they can smash them too. We'll go to that next video.
All right, which was the second.
The first one with the black and white one.
See if this is the right one.
Because you're not getting
this one.
No.
I'm gonna find it. No.
No, even though all this is gonna come up because
right.
This is why we're having a food problem. So all that.
Yeah,
This one.
That one.
Yes.
Together with other powerful allies, have created a new G8 with Brazil, Iran, and other nations in a warning to the United States of America that the world no longer needs America's policy. The world no longer needs the American threat of dictatorship by military. These are Russia's words, not mine. And the world is ready for a new world order without American involvement. The economies of the United States, Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Italy, and Canada continue to collapse under the pressure of sanctions against Russia, according to these reports. The group of countries that do not take part in the sanction war, China, India, Russia, Indonesia, Brazil, Mexico, Iran, Turkey, is 24.4% ahead of the old group in terms of GDP per capita. According to outlets,
Pause it right there.
Together
So
with other
basically, everybody that's joined on to Russia, their GDP is up.
Yep.
But everybody that's joined on to America, everything is down, and they're not reporting that here in America. And the evidence of it is what you're seeing at the pump and what you're seeing in the grocery stores.
Yep.
Let the scriptures fly, man.
Yep.
Get there. Get them. Get him.
Let me get back to this Jeremiah 49.
I got a quick one. This is Nahum 3 and 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shoot the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. That's what they're going into. The economy.
Yeah.
You know, nations blocking off all the food and shit. You know, the more out of people, everything is being. How about you outside bringing shame upon this shit?
Right.
All the slavery, all the shit our people went through, bro. All this shit is being brought down, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yes, it is. And only we are rejoicing in this.
Right.
This is that Jeremiah. I'm take it back up at 21. Jeremiah 49. Pick up 21 and read 21, 22. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pain. So Esau pride is gonna be brought to the point where he gonna be acting like a female in labor and shit. Oh, why is me? The whole deal.
Hysterical.
That's it, exactly. You know,
When women having babies, they say all type of dumb ass shit.
that's
crazy.
it. I hate you.
Yeah,
You put this on me like this.
You did it
Fuck! This shit is over. Fuck!
I got a precept real quick.
Bring it out, brother.
This is Revelation 13, because what's happening is the prophecy of this beast system in with Russia is coming to the pass, man. This is Revelation 13 and 1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy." That goes back to what? The Roman Empire and the vassal states, which is comparable to today with what? NATO, the EU, and America, which makes up that whole entire beast system.
The 10 color markets.
Right, it's back on the earth again. So now the Lord said, what? I'm going to end you by the bear, which is what we're seeing in Russia. It says, verse 2, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard," because that system began with the Greeks. It says, "And his feet were as the feet of a bear." Let's talk about Russia, which means that what? Russia's going to bring the beast system, all right, to an end. And that's what we're seeing now coming and manifest in this reality now. It says, "And his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority." And that's how this going into England, right? So now we're in, and that's a spirit, because Russia said they had this on their mainstream news media outlets in Russia. They said that we could put England underwater in seconds, you know, and they were threatening England. So what Russia's doing, everybody's getting in the way. They're getting bowled over now. They're just going through now. You know, and Ukraine, they're about to pass through Ukraine, and like the elder said, Poland and Lithuania, they're next, and they're gonna pass right through them, man. So they're attacking that beast system now.
But they've been attacked on all sides right now.
Right.
Esau is scared.
Yeah.
When it goes into Teman is the Russians, but I mean not the Russians, it's like the Germans.
Right.
Pardon me, Germans, which says no wisdom in Teman. They don't know what the fuck to do. Is Isaiah 47?
And they're letting the least of the flock lead them.
That's it.
Via America.
Exactly. So they're in a confused state right now. Isaiah 47 and 1, it says, "Sit in the dust, oh daughter of Babylon."
Go ahead, bring that out, bro.
If you want to grab that real quick.
I got it.
Somebody hold Isaiah 61 too.
This is Isaiah
63.
That's like I was telling Capo a couple weeks ago when we was sitting in the car and whatnot. Russia basically, all these countries that was neutral, like Poland and Sweden and all this, you know, it was like, you know, I'm in the room and like it's like the Will Smith movie. You know, I got guns drawn on who it is that I know is my enemy. And now you motherfuckers out the clan that y'all with them. So now I done spread out. I'm swinging my weapons back and forth now. I got to be able to hit all y'all now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you want to do it.
Switch from the shotgun to the scattergun.
That's it.
From the pistol to the scattergun.
That's right.
Bring out what you got, brother.
This is Isaiah
47:1.
Isaiah 47:1. "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
Right, so the virgin daughter of Babylon is talking about America. Okay, and the reason why it's a virgin, because nobody has actually penetrated this war. Okay, nobody's actually made war on this soil. Okay, of America.
No major war has ever taken place here.
Yeah, since it became America.
Exactly. And the dust is a representation of confusion. Okay. See, the brother just brought out about what is that? Nahum 4:3, right? So America is in a confused state. They, like the scripture says, they will heal Babylon, but she is not healed. They don't know how to heal this place, and they're trying the best that they can. But this place is actually at the bottom right now,
and everything they do is counterproductive.
Yep,
it takes them further and further away
in the hole
from operating.
Yep,
you know? It said that I would gave her a bomb, so they don't do all kinds of money.
They call it back then. It was the quantum easing.
Right.
QE 1,
quantitative
2, 3.
easing. Matter of fact, that's the only reason why America. Well, we know that the Lord preserved it because all the elect hadn't been sealed. That's the obvious part. But America should have collapsed in 2008, 2009. It should have been over then.
If I can say something real quick, but now what they're trying to do is trying to heal Babylon. They're trying to hike the interest rates up with the credit cards, your mortgage rates, your car loans to try and offset the amount of cash in circulation.
It's an illusion.
So what they're trying to do is hide the interest rates to make it harder for you to get loans, so that way they can ease up on throwing cash into the pot.
Right.
You know,
put bomb on it. Like scripture, but it's not going to
Well, you know when the demic first started, they was giving everybody stimmies.
Yep.
That stimmies, come on now, they could
that actually helped.
They
destroy
helped to destroy it. They gave everybody between 1,200 to 1,400, 1,600. They pumped the money into society to pop it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Really like that, and then the PPPs.
PPPs.
People was getting 40 G's, 60 G's.
No, Jake figured out how to operate that shit. And a lot of Jakes, you know, that's why all of a sudden you saw these Hellcats on the streets. And people buy houses and homes and all kind of shit. Open up businesses.
Yep.
But go ahead and finish that scripture, brother.
Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Call it and read it, brother.
That's Isaiah 47:1. I'm going to read it to the top. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. But
because of the witchcraft, the sorcery, the manipulation, because that's what the ancient Chaldeans was known for, was witchcraft and sorcery. And that's the same thing what Babylon is about through their media. See, the media is telling you something different, but when you go into these different outlets, we know what the real truth is, what's going on. So that's the Chaldeans. They're making it seem. Well, Biden just said
the evidence and the results too.
The
evidence and the results of their actions.
That's right.
Tell a different story from what they're saying.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, like the movie Glasses and stuff like that. See different things and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, real quick, just off the Chaldeans and the witchcraft, Biden literally just said that, the economy is doing good. The economy is bouncing back. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then they did a survey of just interviewing people on the street. Like, do you agree with Biden is saying? And everybody was like, hell no. Like, look at the fucking gas prices. Look at the interest rates. Look at the.
They sent a bunch of memes and jokes of him falling off his bike.
Right.
Americans are cloning him.
Exactly.
That's not the foreign nations doing that. That's American citizens doing that. All right.
To show another thing about these gas prices. You got a lot of not a lot of Jake, but a lot of just Edomites. They have moved to different countries, different states, and come work in Chicago, man. My job, a lot of them guys making $30, $40.
Well, they've been doing that for years, but now they're really doing it.
But now what's happening? They complaining about gas prices. I was talking to a Edomite in my job. He said, man, he said, I put $20, I put my last little bit of money to get to work. And this dude been at this job. This dude making $30-some an hour, and he's struggling. Damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People with six figures are having a hard time. You got people.
They gotta knock it down.
You got people that's earning six figures that are. Hey, look, more and more people. You know, where I travel and mingle in on a daily basis is Bucktown, 𝐤𝐄𝐅𝐄 for the most part, between there and the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of residents that live in both those places, and those are two of the richest neighborhoods. Between Old Town and 𝐤𝐄𝐅𝐄, Bucktown, those are two of the richest neighborhoods in the Chicagoland area. And a lot of people are, you know what you're seeing on the streets? The streets are full of now scooters. People are buying electric scooters and electric bikes. So these rich people are parking their cars and riding electric bikes, man.
Because they have to break down the society to the point where it's only going to be rich and poor.
Communism.
Remember, it was a middle class and people was doing good. Everybody doing a little bit, good for themselves. No, it has to be the elites, and then it has to be your ass at the bottom. Exactly. That's how it has
Pretty
to be.
much, brother. But let them finish that scripture, brother. Let them
Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
because you ran through whore now. What you got, brother? Then you next, brother.
I got Jeremiah 51 and 30. It's not 30. And it reads, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. And Babylon is on different fronts right now. And they're threatened all over the country right now. It says they have remained in their holes. Their might has failed. That's right. Their might has failed because, Babylon cannot just, they're spread thin.
Too thin.
They're too thin right now. They just can't up and just grab troops and just go to that spot and put out that flame. They can't do it.
Yeah,
they can't just stop it. They can't control it right now.
And now you got Russian troops down in South America. A couple different countries in South America now, man. And they got nuclear subs parked down there as well, man. So basically they've given Babylon a taste of his own medicine, man. Right? And guess what? They also, Russia ain't never broke ties with Cuba. And ain't no telling what's there that we don't even know about, man. So you get hit from all
60s.
Yeah, man. You back to the 60s, man. The war of the pigs. When they call it the war of the pigs.
That's it. The Cuban Missile Crisis. That's right.
Some more of that. Sorry, yeah, come. It says they have become as women. I mean, that speaks for itself. They have become as women, man. How can you function as a woman in control of anything, man?
Right.
That's confusion.
Yeah, they're a bunch of women.
That's weakness.
Hey.
Bunch of women arguing in the room, man. That had a damn, a whole party, what they call it, a mixer event. And then nobody show up but women. Ain't nothing but confusion, man. Right? And hey, that's another thing, man. These people, these Babylonians, man, is gonna be in a bad way, man. And especially a lot of you women, man. Even my ex said to me a couple weeks ago that all this stuff is starting to come down, and she's not in a good place. And I'm like, yeah, well, whose fault is that? And so a lot of these women gonna be left out there I don't know how many of y'all seen that video, but those women collectively, all the women I saw in the background, they was attractive.
It was fine,
but didn't nobody want to deal with it.
Because that's the nigga woman ain't shit. That's why these fucking independent, so-called independent black bitches. Nobody want these trash ass.
I went to go buy some beer, some food for the family, for a little thing earlier, man. And I walked into the store and a big fat ass, out of shape, 300-pound nigga woman is telling everybody to tell her Happy Father's Day because she raised 3 good men. Wow. And one's a bus driver and one's a police officer, and then all this other mess. And I'm like, I'm listening to her talk, and I'm like, so you a man now. So and then I'm thinking, well, why did you have to raise him by yourself? Right. Because of your fucking attitude? Because you ran the man up. Do they all have the same damn father? Right. More than likely not. Right. All right. So there's a reason why no man is with you. All right. All right. Now your sons are grown and gone, and they see you for what you really are. Yeah. Because every man comes to that realization when he realizes that his mother really ain't shit. That's it. And that's even dudes in the world, man. Because when I first came back home, when I first moved back to Chicago, I was living with my mom. And it was the first time I was with her as an adult. All right. And after, being with my mom, I was with her. I stayed there for about 1.5 years. But after that 1.5 years living with my mother, man, and my best homie that grew up with me, he was there too. She was in that big ass house by herself. So he had the basement and I had the attic. We had, the whole space. All right. But after being there that time, I realized, damn, now I see why, why my father didn't want fucking with you. I get it. I realized that as an adult, man. It was a realization I came to.
Dude,
I was like, yeah, I do love, I love the shit out of my mother, man. But I was like, damn, I understand now why, you know.
She was dead wrong.
I was like, damn.
Exactly.
You know?
I had that same incident with my mother. My son was about 3, maybe 4 years old, and I had the same little incident. And I told her, I said, Mom, I literally said, I said, Mom, I love you. But now that I've got my own, I realized what Dad was dealing with, and I've got a whole different respect for him. Oh, you could see the conscience in her face. She was like, like, oh, you done woke up, and I said, yeah. And basically, she realized I woke up and I see the treachery.
You saw the true hurt.
That's it.
You know, because and my stepdad was cool. He passed away before my mom did. But but when he passed away, her and my father a couple years later ended up getting back together.
Okay.
And that shit didn't work.
Right.
You know? So I'm like, and now and when I came home, I was like, damn, now I see why. Because he's like, we was all grown, wasn't even around, and you still couldn't, because you know what? Because my stepfather let her do whatever the fuck she wanted. And my father was a real aggressive, manly man. Like, where you going? What you doing? Oh, I'll drive you there. I'll pick you up.
Right.
You know? And my stepfather, he just would give her the wallet, give her the key, right. She be just gonna do whatever the fuck she want to do. And what it was, she just didn't want to be accountable, and that's what's happening with a lot of these women. And the result of that, the people are as the king. That's what's happening with the leadership in this country. And it's got a trickle down effect, and it's not just the black woman; it's all these.
All women. And I also came to that same effect. He was like, man, after I reconnected with my mom and whatnot, I kind of saw it and was around it, because I never said anything bad. I let him make his own situation of what it is that he's going to get a chance to see.
My sons came to the same conclusion.
Thing, exactly.
My daughter as well. My daughter even apologized to me. She said, "Damn, Daddy, I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm so sorry."
Was crazy.
My daughter said that, man.
Wow.
Exactly. And my sister said it too. And my oldest brother, we were talking about it. If it wasn't for the things to get that out of your system, you know what I'm saying? She would have already been fucked up, and she's still fucked up because it takes a process to get all that out. And but she apologized too.
Hey, through the spirit, I used to always ask my father, because I got 8 uncles, and every one of my uncles got different daddies, right? And I used to ask my father, like, hey, grandmama super Christian, why she got why all my uncles got different daddies? They all got different daddies. She ain't with none of them, and end up being with the last one right before she died. But hey, my father went to the military. He's gone to the military 5-6 years. He was sending money home and not knowing my grandmama was spending all his fucking money. So my father came back from the fucking military thinking he was gonna have a bag, and she spent all his money. Wow. You know, hey, these women ain't shit, man. That was my grandmother, and she'd smile in my face and act like. But I used to always have this something about her, like, man,
because
you fucked my daddy up.
Yeah, she fucked your daddy up, and guess what? No disrespect to your grandmother, but you know the old hoes used to be young hoes.
Exactly.
So just remember that part, man. Right. And most of them church mammies, them old ass women with the big ass hat.
Sister Big Hat.
Right. Brother, Sister Big Hat.
They call them mothers.
Right. Them church mothers. They gobbled a whole lot of seed. And they weren't the same seed either. But let's get back on top of your hand.
Finish up on those Jeremiah 51.
Bible shot, brother.
He said that.
And I need my DJ back. What the hell you rag on, man?
Oh, okay. Jeremiah 51:30. They became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. The dollar bill, they dwell with that dollar bill. It's on high, right? That dollar bill is gone. That dollar bill is gone, right? It says her barns are broken down. Right, the walls of her barns, man, they worship that dollar bill. Everything is the almighty dollar, and it's gone right now. You know, it's about to bring in it. One world order. They're trying to bring in it. You know.
Go to the next video. Okay. Bring out what you got, bro.
This Mark chapter 3 verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself, and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end.
Right. And what did the man say in the video? The full spectrum survival dude. He said that Russia said that the world doesn't need America or anything, and Russia and China intend on being at the head of this next world order. That's dividing the shit out of the Edomites, man. Esau is divided, right? And they get ready to bang on each other. And not only are they going to bang cross country, they're going to bang within this country. Because the Edomites here are divided as fuck in multiple ways. And so many, they're so fragmented. There's so much because you got the left versus the right. Yep. Okay.
Democrats
you got these Edomites that's down for Jake, and you got the Edomites that absolutely hate Jake.
That's it.
Right. And then you got the Edomites that know that they need Jake in order to be in those subservient positions so that they don't have to do it. You know?
Yeah.
And all three of those ideologies are gonna somebody get Revelation 6 and 4. All those are gonna clash, man. All right.
Which one did you want me to queue up next? So I get everything.
This is Revelation chapter 6. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth.
Right. This was good.
In that they should kill one another.
There it is. Mm-hmm. See, they got given a great sword, and so they're talking about how they're gonna be killing the zombies, which is code for killing niggas and spiggers. All right. But the truth of the matter is that these Edomites are getting ready to bang on each other, man. And you see how they dragging out this they showing you all this shit that went on January 6th at the
White House.
They're ready to go at each other, man.
And this shit over a year ago.
And a lot of that is lies and set up and exaggerations of the truth,
propaganda,
and sensationalizing stories and things like that, and how but then they got these fake groups, and then you got real groups though, because you got these Edomites that are all they having these false flag events with a whole bunch of guys dressed like and the video popped up of them talking to the police before they got in the van, before they got in the van, and then all of a sudden they all get arrested and caught just in the nick of time, but then you got real groups that plan on doing shit too, man. All right.
Yeah, they just set the propaganda, just setting the mark. It's making people be solidified in their mind.
And the real patriots, and the real patriots are tired of being demonized.
Exactly.
They're tired of being portrayed as if they're terrorists in their own countries when they actually fought and bled for the lies. Going over there fighting these rachaaw wars, and and shoot people in their own homeland and calling them insurgents when they fucking live there. When you're the fucking insurgent, you're the terrorist. You come with tanks and rifles and planes and bombs to my shit. Right? And now I'm a terrorist because I'm defending my fucking home.
That's right.
Because I'm trying to defend my way of life.
Yeah, ain't that a bitch?
Right? Now you the bad guy. That shit is crazy, man. And you talk to the average Edomite American, and you're un-American for saying what I'm saying.
That's it.
Absolutely. They look at it as treason.
It's like what? Right. If that's like somebody kicking in your door, and taking all your shit, and you try to defend your house, and now you an insurgent.
Exactly.
It's like that shit makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, man.
You know what? You would say that, and they ask, well, how the hell can you come to a conclusion like that? I was a Marine. I was in the middle of this shit. They jaw drop. They like, how the fuck am I gonna argue with that?
And you still have ones that will argue with that.
That too.
I'm pulling it up right now. And so when it's going to start on this also, Bobby can show you in a second.
Yeah.
Anybody else think it's crazy that over the last 200 years, the government in corporate America has dug up every single plant that grows fruits and vegetables, passed laws to discourage gardening, removed the gardens from all the homes, made people start to pay for food because they realized that the less time you have to spend taking care of yourself, the more time you can spend being a slave. And also, the fact that everywhere you go and you see trees for miles, those are all male trees. And they planted male trees so that there wouldn't be any fruit to grow on them, so that you would have to pay for it. No, just me. Anybody else think it's crazy that?
Click to the next one, and that's something that I didn't even realize. I just learned that from some scientific person. I had no idea that there were male and female trees.
I didn't
right.
hear that either.
And
We
so,
saw this
so
one.
that's one of the reasons. No, quick, go to the next one. Go
We saw
another
this
one
one.
about food. Go to the next one.
Select it, brother.
That makes
Together with other powerful.
It makes perfect
Makes
sense.
perfect sense.
Right.
Why the trees are dying off of shit and all this shit like because of the shit they spraying too.
At least I stopped seeing fruit
but-
trees. I don't see.
You know those
Crop
trees
pollination.
used to. That's a good one, but all right, we can play that one too. But all the videos we've seen are gonna be in the subject matter. But
The reason why gas prices are so high right now.
I'll pause it for a second. But the fact that those mulberry trees, Chicago had mulberry trees everywhere.
Everywhere.
All over the place.
Yo,
You
man.
could just walk up to them and eat them. They grow in your yards.
Yes.
They grow in the park.
Do you remember
They
growing
grew
up as a
everywhere.
kid?
We had a lot of blueberry trees
Yes.
too.
Exactly.
We
remember-
actually had blueberries.
And
I used to
blackberries.
eat them when I was a kid.
And blackberries.
Yeah.
We had all of them because remember
Blackberries,
going.
mulberries,
Yes.
and blueberries. And
Yes.
see, a lot of you brothers young.
Don't have
see, I
no. They don't
remember.
know.
But
We
I
would
used to
go
ride
down
my
the
bike
street.
to the park. We be tired as hell, and we eat them trees. We be
Yes.
rejuvenated. We start playing again and riding.
You would hate to walk down certain blocks because you got to step in all that shit, and then you get stained in your shoes and bringing that shit in the crib. Now you don't. We had blueberries, you had mulberries, you had blackberries, and all that shit. Bro. Yeah, all of that.
It's literally.
We had them all around. Those are those they grow into the mulberry trees.
I didn't know
Those
that.
Yes.
grew in my backyard. I used to climb this shit
Bro.
and eat the berries, man.
See, one
We
thing
got-
Pops
we
used
got
to
a-
like it, brother. One thing Pops told me years ago. See, he's ancient enough to know that he can remember seeds in a banana. You ain't no seeds in bananas no more. No, but younger people have no idea that banana has and supposed to have seeds.
I know.
All right. And but if you're young enough, we used to have the crab apples. You can eat those crab apples. We used to
When's the
throw them.
last time you seen a crab apple?
I haven't seen it. We used to have crab apple fights where we'll grab them in and whip them and stuff and fun and shit. And then you take the motherfucker, you eat it, and it was a motherfucking sweet ass
They were
crab
like
apple.
sweet and sour.
Yeah, it was a sweet and
As a matter of
sour.
fact, that's probably where they got the idea of the sweet and sour candy.
Yep. You just got me hot right now because I used to
I
love
never
that shit.
fucking knew you could
Matter
eat
of fact,
that
and
shit.
another thing that I've missed, and I want to say, it's the blessed fireflies. We used to collect the fireflies and put them in a goddamn jar and have them fucking light up. You know what I'm saying? You know, they still come out, but it's so few and far in between.
No,
Very few and far in
And
between.
you used to be able to walk through them, man, and whatnot. And you could literally,
I remember that.
you could take a jar and walk through it and just.
Yep.
I
And you have a
mean,
whole
yeah,
jar
Exactly, a
full.
whole
Stuff in
jar.
the
You
jar.
could literally walk through
When
it.
I was a kid, it was like that. When I was little.
Well, you sit out there in the bird.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Come, hold
When
on.
I was in the bird.
Elder
you know
Brock
what
got
I'm
a
saying?
scripture to bring out, brother.
Yeah.
Let me bring out the scripture, and we're gonna read that.
Yeah, because this goes back to the beginning of the creation, and this is Genesis 1:11. It says, and the power said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was good so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the yielding tree yielding fruit." So you're supposed to have fruit trees. Everything's supposed to have seed in it.
That's right.
It don't make no sense. You got these different fruits, bananas, watermelons, all that. Grapes with no seed in it. Man. Everything's supposed to have a seed in it, man.
Right. That's life.
That's
Yeah.
life, man.
Life is in the seed.
Yeah,
That's why the Lord always made certain allegories to like the vineyard and what we're doing right
Man, all
now. We're
that.
planting seeds to bring forth life.
Yeah.
Everything that we're doing is the same, concept.
It says
The husbandman.
Yeah.
Husband.
So it says, "In the fruit tree yielding fruit at this kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And the power saw it was good.
Wow.
And see that.
And when you think about it, too, like I said, from the scientific, true science,
Right.
The Lord was in perfect balance because I hadn't even considered the fact that they're male and female plants.
That's right.
They're male and female trees.
And Esau knows that shit.
So when they screw up the balance,
Yeah.
then it makes a lot of sense why a lot of these bushes and all these berries and these berry bushes aren't growing in the trees anymore
Right.
because
They cornered the market.
Yep.
I mean, it's really what they did by planting. See, they are strategical in planting things, and then they go through what they've already planted, and you speak on this a lot. They over prune the trees to where now the tree cannot actually survive and take in enough nutrients from the sun, from the rain, and so forth. And now you'll see beautiful tree. Then what the fuck is this tree doing? Damn, what's wrong with this tree? This tree's sick as fuck. They're great. The tree, they do way more brown, now they're more gray. The leaves are now already seem like they're coming out to fall way too soon. And it's because of all the shit, how they're taking care of what they're putting in the air and what they're putting in the fluoride and the water and all that stuff. This really killing the
Can I get something for you real quick? Real quick, this is Psalms 82 and 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundation of the earth are out.
Way up. And that goes into the nature even of the plants, trees, the birds, and the bees. All right. Matter of fact, there's been go Google the bee population decline.
Right.
If the bees now, why would the Lord say in the scriptures a land flowing with milk and honey? Why? What in order to have milk, what do you need? Cows. What are cows gonna do? Eat the grass. All right, then they're gonna shit in the grass and make it even more abundance. Then you got milk and honey. Where the honey come from? The bees. What do the bees do? Pollinate all the fruits and the vegetables. So when you go back to Israel, you knew that we had a land full of milk and honey. Means you had a whole bunch of cattle, and you had a whole bunch of bees, had a whole bunch of vegetation, had a whole bunch of life. Exactly. Now you go into, if you go Google how the bee population, I might do it after we play this next video. You'll see that all the numbers are declining in every single way.
They made a movie about it. The bee movie.
That's right.
Yeah, the bee movie.
The bee movie is actually a knowledgeable movie because it's talking about how the bees are dying off. And if the bees was to die off, that all plant life would die off because the bees are part of the natural ecosystem of the plant.
But they are the, that's how you would have plants cross pollinate and all these type of things. Like they go and suck the off of one and exactly go over there. So I gotta take this.
He's about to read an article about that, brother. He's been holding. Bring that out.
It's really acute virus.
Really acute virus?
Israeli acute virus.
Israeli acute. Israeli acute virus.
Sound like the Spanish flu, right?
Sound like they were manufactured in the lab.
Came to Mexico. Go ahead, brother. Bring that out, Baba.
This is describe the life cycle of a genome sperm. Key points: male combs give rise to microspores, which produce pollen grains, while female combs give rise to megaspores, which produce ovals. The pollen tube develops from the pollen grain to initiate fertilization. The pollen grain divides into two sperm cells by mitosis on the of the sperm cells unites with the egg cells during fertilization. Once the oval is fertilized, it dilates, it's produced with which gives rise to the embryo enclosed in a seed coat to tissue from the patient plant. Fertilization of the seed development can take years. The seed that is formed, it makes up the three issues of seed coats, the gametolite and the embryo. And this man Esau, this is the reason why our the plants and the trees and the bushes and all sorts of, along with the wind, the air that we breathe, it's all defiled. This man does not get along. Nature does not get along with him.
That's right, because he's the harbinger of death. This nigga, right? Okay, this man will kill him. Everything that kills himself.
And that cartoon.
Yes, the man, right? I just wanted to. I'll pull up the article. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just giving you some of the headlines. Bee Conservancy, save the bees. Bees are suffering. EPA, save the bees. Are these bees going extinct? 2 studies on bee health. Illinois population, 6 consecutive years of decline on the population of bees. Then it says beekeepers across the United States lost 45.5% of their managed honeybee colonies from April 20th to April 2020 to April 2021. Right? They'll say people ask exposure to. They say why is there a decline in bee population? Exposure to parasites, pesticides, climate change. Which when you say climate change, then pesticides, that goes to the chemtrails, and then not to mention the 4G, 5G, 6G bullshit. That all that thousands and thousands and thousands of birds just dropping down, bees drop down, animals drop down because those frequencies are wicked frequencies and actually is counterproductive to those smaller animals' physiology, and so they die. They cannot be. That's why you see certain birds attacking those towers. Right, and more of those pine. They in California, they got the palm tree, fake palm trees with all the 5G shit around here. In here they got the evergreens, fake evergreens, and at the top is all the towers and trying to hide them. These birds, these bees, this nature is not fucking with it, and it's dying out.
They actually Salakia. Damn, I just forgot my damn.
Did anybody ever read that scripture? Bring up what you got. Did somebody find that that he who does evil to himself?
Yes.
Yes.
You got it? Go ahead,
Come on, but bring out the scripture, brother.
So basically, what I was about to read, because they messing up the natural uses and all these things, which is medicine. And in this is Ecclesiasticus 38:4. The Lord Yahweh created medicines out of the earth.
That's right.
And he that is wise will not abhor them. And that's what they're doing. They're ruining every natural thing that's in them. That's why everything is dying off. Because the things like the fruits the mothers used to eat used to heal you. Now you're not getting the proper nutrients no more. You ain't getting the medicine. So now everything is defiled, especially what y'all saying with the chemtrails, the air, everything being polluted. That's ruining every natural resource on this planet.
Well, Elder Michael says that all the time. How is it that you go into the store and in one part of it you got all these foods, but then in another section you got to buy all these minerals and vitamins and whatnot that's supposed to be in the food in the first place, supplements.
Right.
One, and then like you said, when we talked about the fruits and whatnot back in the day, by the time we would be able to grab that fruit, pick it up, and throw it this, that, and other, it done ripened. It's totally ripened to hit the ground. So either we could throw it or we could hit you with it. It wasn't whether we were playing or not. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Monsanto and all these other people go around and do what they do, and took the earth's ability to naturally reproduce itself from it in the heartland.
They killing it.
They killed it.
They killing the life. And I watched the video basically going into the trees and why in some places getting more hot is because it's not enough trees. Esau been cutting off the trees, and it's something that the trees do.
No. The trees are very essential into your oxygen that you breathe.
You got all these respiratory issues. The trees are directly connected to your respiratory system.
Come on,
right? We need the trees, and the trees need us. So that's why you got a lot of positives, so to speak. You look. It's called. Man, I had it. Photosynthesis.
Carbon dioxide.
And that's what it's called. All right. We breathe out carbon dioxide. Trees breathe it in and breathe back out clean air, clean oxygen.
And the photosynthesis
all right.
part.
And that's the photosynthesis part, man.
And they do something.
All right. And so if you got half your trees dead and sick and all these crazy ass colors, you're gonna have the oxygen. There's not enough. You're gonna have oxygen nasal. You're gonna have problems, respiratory issues. And then they take and when you have those issues, they weaponize them to control you.
Right. And the trees actually help control the temperature of the air that's around it. It actually it balances it. It's another thing that the trees do. Like if it's too hot outside or if it's a tree area. So what I've been read an article that certain properties that has no trees, the property values are going down because they're more hotter. Right? They're more hotter, and they found out because the trees they do something to keep the neighborhood
cool.
Keep it cool.
What first of all, what does the trees provide? Shade. Okay, and you start cutting down all the trees and then start thinning out all the trees. You just take away your oxygen levels, because even though right here on the screen, process of photosynthesis, the trees and the plants, they breathe in carbon dioxide, which we exhale.
Yep.
All right. They take in the sunlight, and that combination with the water produces oxygen and sugars and other things that for our benefit. If you start clipping their leaves, then they cannot photosynthesize. They cannot. Exactly. It's just taking a fish out of water. It's taking a fish out of water. And then you go up and down these streets here in Chicago, man, these trees look like anorexic goddamn crackers. You know what I'm saying? They look like little skinny ass white bitches. You can see all the ribs. They're taking away our oxygen, and they're taking away our food sources.
It's funny you. Oh no, I was gonna say, and two, the reason why you have all these floods everywhere, because you don't have no trees around. The trees absorb the water.
That's it.
Yeah, the foliage absorb the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, bring out your scripture, brother. These brothers got some scripture too. Heavy up.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24. That's verse 4. I got it right.
He known for this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The holy people of the earth do languish. And so, the earth is suffering, man, under the habits thereof. It's Esau, of course, you spread your chemtrails and your Agent Orange, the Agent Blue, whatever color it is, you destroy your trees, destroy your crops, They
got a strand of cancer in the, in the water called chromium-6 in the water. It's called chromium-6 is in the water.
Water cancer?
Yeah.
Water cancer.
And how
what the fuck?
And how the FDA does it, the FDA does it to where like they have to have regulate healthy levels of chromium-6 and healthy levels of rat shit and chocolate and healthy levels of this chemical. And
I heard that about ground. They said it's best when you buy coffee to grind it yourself. But they said the same thing about ground coffee. There's a certain allotment of roasting. And rat shit. But just to go to show you how hypocritical Esau is, I'm gonna read this quick article because I did a lesson yesterday talking about this, and I actually put my email and now so that they will send me articles so that I can use them to edify. And this is from the Chicago Anti-War Coalition, and I want the war to go on. The Lord, I want Ezekiel 38 to happen. They're trying to stop it, but this is good information. It says, and so this is from the Chicago Anti-War Coalition, and it reads: the U.S. government has a lot to say about imprisonments of opponents of government in other countries, and they do. All right, and regularly denounce the harsh treatment and torture there. The following article shows the typical hypocrisy of the U.S. government and long and harsh jailing of CIA whistleblower who was awaiting a new trial after the original result in a hung jury on all major charges. And then there is an imprisonment of Julian Assange in Britain under harsh and inhumane conditions because of the unjust attempt of the U.S. government to extradite this Australian citizen, and ditto with the U.S. kidnapping and the harsh and inhumane imprisonment of Venezuelan diplomat Alex Saab. There are many more examples that we can cite. We should not be fooled by the U.S. righteousness about the defending democracy, and more people need to work to change this system, don't you think? And this was from Neil Betty, a part of this Chicago Coalition, and this defending U.S. righteousness, all right, and defending democracy. Renee, right? But you can't say one without the other, man, right? Because whenever democracy lands, death, destruction, grenades, and then alphabet lifestyle and everything else, the destruction of the family, the stealing of your resources, the destruction of plant life. Like you can click back to one of them videos that make it, they've been to have these laws on the books, and now I guess they're in play now finally, where it's illegal to grow food in your own gardens. That was that black and white.
Terminator seed.
You know what? Yeah, I'm about to find it right now.
You know, so these people are really, you know, Esau's anti-life. You know, they grant the rights to people to murder children in the womb. You know, got whole feet, legs, heartbeat, eyes, and everything. Whole little person, man. You know, defenseless.
I think one of these countries,
and they got to face the blender.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. And I think one of these states just said they can do it after the child is 6, 7, 8 days old. They can say, you know what, we can see.
She's just gonna give him a shot.
That's a murder.
So this woman just has complete control over everybody's life. She can have this baby and put somebody on child support unjustly because child support is Title 4D and it's done under the color of law. It's not lawful. It's an actually illegal operation, and they protect it because it's the biggest money maker in America. It's a $15 billion a year industry, which was never enacted in a positive law. Therefore, it is not law.
So as far as they care, it's free money.
So a lot of people aren't aware of that. You know, it's actually not law at all. But this is the type of government that we're talking about, man. That operates within fraud and then pushes that fraud upon its citizens as if it's truth. All right.
You want to play this video?
We'll let Pops bring out what he got. What he has, and then we'll play.
Yeah, this is Sirach 14. We'll read it 5 through 7. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
There it is.
Right? He shall not take pleasure in his good. Man had everything. The elite banking family, Rothschild being the top of it. Guess what? Had more than enough money that could have paid off all the national debts and still been the richest motherfuckers on the planet.
Exactly.
Hey, did they want that?
No, but then they do all these things that we've been talking about. All right, they do all these things, and then they're killing and destroying and making poverty come upon their own people as well. They don't care.
That's right. And
so he's evil to himself, man.
Right. And then you just like if you got a globe, like you know those little remember the little globes you have, and you shake it up and the snow come down. Well, the Earth is like a globe. That's why they call it a globe. So if you put chemtrails in this circle, you put poison in this circle, you put all this madness in this circle, you gotta deal and breathe and deal with the same shit. You stupid bastard. You're being evil to you and your children and your own posterity.
Verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And he that doeth good, he doeth unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. This Edomite, like you said, if it wasn't for the remnant's sake, no flesh would be saved.
Shit.
Oh, okay. I got that. Okay. Let me go over here and grab this one right here and put it right up.
Hey, like say you do good, you do
it's unconscious. It's unconscious.
He don't want to do it, but you know
it's the ulterior motive.
Ulterior motive. If you have to do it,
he hit the agenda.
Yeah, the hidden agenda. For some wicked evil thing to be successful, if he have to, I'm trying to say, I'm off the train.
It's just like slavery.
Yeah.
You know, for his next plan to be successful, which was having us come up here and work for cheap labor.
Yeah,
he had to have
there was no help forward this NWO that he had set up way back when.
Yeah. And it made like I said, before that, before the so-called emancipation. The Israelites knew who their enemy was. Yeah. It was drawn, it was clean, it was clear. When he did that, it was maybe he ain't that bad now, and all this other kind of stuff. And that's especially when they fell away from Jeremiah 17:4, they fell away from their heritage. Because now all of a sudden now they free and they can move around and do the shit that they think that they can do.
But it's still boundaries of slavery.
Exactly. Right. You think try to leave the country without a fucking passport, find out what happened.
Yeah, Jake had their like the mom and pop shop. They had their own business. Oh, you can come shop with us. Jake be like, oh man, this white man's finally like us, but all along now you don't got shit in your own neighborhood.
And Martin Luther Queen helped set that up, man. Right, exactly. You know, because I give Malcolm X that respect, man. He was against that because he understood that. As a matter of fact, that's why there was a meeting with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and then they both died shortly thereafter because the rumors are is that Martin Luther King
killed his
said that fuck that, we ain't turning our cheek no more. And he was getting ready to ride with Malcolm X, and that was a problem because this guy was too powerful and had too many people follow him, and they were already afraid of Malcolm.
Off top.
So because you know he walk around with AK-47s talking about by any means necessary at a time when it was actually legal. You know, you could actually keep bear your arms like that.
Well, see, you know, they had the mold Martin. His name was Mike. I'm sorry, Michael. It was Michael. They had to mold him into that character because when they was doing the beginning of the marches, he used to hold pistol on. He used to hold gun. He used to hold a gun on him. So they had to mold him into
drop the gun.
You gotta make this shit real. You gotta get spit on. You gotta get hit. And that was by the dude named Barrel Rustin.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? He was an insider who was working with Amalek, who molded Martin Luther King into that.
But there it is, man. But then he turned against that and they got rid of him. All right, because he was like, no more. I made a mistake.
The last 2 years of him living, he started to convert into.
He said, I brought my people into a burning building.
There you go.
Yep.
God, there it is.
I was thinking about that.
He said, I've assimilated them into a burning building. You know, and I fear that this house is going to burn down before we even get a chance to live.
So he was attracting all that I have a dream shit. He was attracting the last 2 years of him living, but then they had to get rid of it.
Yeah, and it was literally within a couple of weeks after that famous picture of him and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
They had had that sit down, and after that they was like, okay, these niggas have got together. It's time.
Yep.
That's it. Anytime they get together, you gotta get their ass out of here.
Get him.
Yep.
So the world right now is just waiting on this Edomite to come out of power and whatnot. And us, we waiting on 𝐉𝐄𝐄𝐿 to send Yahweh to send his son 𝐉𝐿 back and do it.
And it's a lot of Edomites, and especially they women, saying that this white man needs to not be in power, needs to go down. And you know, the tons of videos, especially on TikTok, of white Christians saying that, hey, those people are the Israelites, and you know, and God is coming back to put shit right. They're saying it.
Right.
You know?
That's right. Let me get this last scripture in. This is Isaiah 14:8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. This is what we're waiting on. We're waiting on this Edomite that all he knows is destruction to get pulled out of authority. Yep. Why? Because, like I said, he done had the keys to the car and whatnot, and what was brand new, he done went out and wrecked it and twisted it up and banged it against all kinds of shit and whatnot. You don't even recognize that it was a Benz when it was given. It's all banged up and twisted up and whatnot. Got smoke coming from it. The motherfucker steaming.
It was fine when it went.
It's a hoopty now on a whole different level. You can't even try to drive it in the neighborhood.
It says the whole creation groaneth, waiting on the earnest manifestation.
Romans chapter 8, verse 16. It's like this is this the book of Romans chapter 8.
It's nice to be back. Of course. So I mean, you were early on in this whole thing, and I got
this book of Romans chapter 8, verse 21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of the flesh. That's wrong. This book of Romans chapter 8, verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity. Now, wait a minute.
I got it. It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. And it said those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Right. So this man left unchecked would literally destroy his own habitat. He would literally make it where it's unbearable and unlivable for himself. Like I said, I hadn't been on the train for a while, you know, last couple weeks and whatnot because of gas prices and whatnot. I've been getting on the train a few days out the week and this, that, and the other. And there was over in Issachar neighborhood up there between like Damon and California or whatever the case might be on the blue line. You could look down.
The blue line is nuts.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, man. And you could look down in the Issachar backyard. And at one point in time, I used to be like about 4 or 5 years ago. I could look down and see this one Issacharite had sunflowers and whatnot with the seeds on them, had greens and all kinds of shit. Had a couple roosters back there, the whole lick. The whole lick. That was a fucked up ass rain that came through there and killed everything. Everything. I remember it was a heavy ass rain that came through there and all his shit was laid down and he's never, ever in the 5 years, and I can say that now because I just rolled through there today,
haven't recovered.
Has never come back after that.
This is what I mean by that. There's a lot of riffraff on the blue line.
Yeah.
Drug addicts and street people and shit.
Yep.
They just as bad as, might even be worse than the red line. They figured out it's a longer ride.
Exactly.
You know, especially when it's real hot
cold,
or it's real cold. You know, they'll jump on there for the air conditioning. Because they go all the way to Forest Park and, you know, come all the way from there down into the city and back up to O'Hare. So it's even they'll ride it a couple times, you know.
They cutting them off now. They making their ass get off on Cumberland. They stopping they stopping the train on Cumberland and making them all get off. If you ain't got a badge or you got a ticket showing that you got a flight out of O'Hare, they cutting your ass off on Cumberland and kicking your ass off the train.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah, because there must have been a lot of people getting jacked. Yeah, because I know they're not reporting a lot of shit.
Exactly.
But let's go ahead and play this video real quick. Yeah.
Growing of food in your very own backyard is a declaration of war. Who agrees with me? Any government banning the growing of food in your very own backyard is a declaration of war. Who agrees with me?
So there it is, man. So the people are highly upset. The man simply said, any government that declares a declaration, that puts a law that's banning the growing of food in your own backyard is a declaration of war. And Americans are ready to go to war with their government, man.
It makes me think of that what's that Peter Griffin? What's that, a family guy? Yeah. It was Pretoria. He had his own. Remember that the episode about him having his own. He found that he's sovereign, that he acts his own whatever. Yeah. And he put a moat around it and fins whatever, and ended up going to war with America, whatever the fuck that dumbass shit. But that is symbolic for what America is doing to these so-called American people. If you don't follow their program to whatever degree, from the stab and jabs, all right, from the stab and jabs to the poison Milky Way, all right, to the micro potato chips, right, and all the things that they have planned. If you growing food, and you know what I'm saying, they looking at like, oh, what he's in the know. They're coming against preppers now. Yeah. They're coming against anybody who is trying to come off grid. They saying it's illegal to go off grid. So right now, like the scripture that says, woe to them that build house to house and so forth, to where the man has no place to just be alone. Do you know that if I want to just go into the mountains, just be with Yahweh, like Edris did, or to just go eat the herbs of the field and the land, now it's illegal. Yeah. You can't not divorce yourself from the system. That's illegal. That's all about Esau wanting to be as if he is God.
That's why the precept in scripture, Isaiah 10:1.
Precept this is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
And the only reason why they get this done is because of that witchcraft pen. This is when they sign things into order. Yep. It's called the
National Defense Resource
Preparedness Act. The National Defense Resource Preparedness Act. And what that does is peacetime or wartime, they can take all of the resources.
Obama passed that into
you know what?
Monkey Boy passed.
Yeah, he's the one that set the stage for that, and that's also why they changed the map. Where if you're within 100 miles of the border, you no longer have the Second Amendment right.
Yep.
All right. So the America actually has shrank. So there's a map that's out there, and it shows you like the edges of America 100 miles in. Right. Yeah. So that means that they can just come in and search and seizure. All right.
But that's
because I don't know how many miles we're away from the Canadian border, but it's not that, it's really not that far.
Yeah. Right. Michigan is really
right. So I don't think it's probably barely 100 miles. We'll probably Chicago falls into that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the truth of the matter is that Chicagoans and people in the surrounding areas no longer have the Second Amendment right. Even if you have your FOID card and all the other stuff, you really are not a legal gun owner if they decide they want to come and get your shit.
But according to America, though, they could always say, "Oh, eminent domain," or this act or that act. You never had no rights. We've been gangstered. Once we got brought off those slave ships and brought over here, we ain't have no rights. All we have are color of rights. That's why some of us
Everything's fraud.
Exactly.
Everything's a
Esau
color
said
law.
false to everything.
Color law.
The color of law. That's what we are.
You know, them unrighteous decrees, man. How they get control over people. Read that and get that Sirach 10 and 8 as well.
That's why I said let
Well, keep reading that.
I'm gonna get this. Isaiah, I'm gonna restart. All right, Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Yep.
And that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
And you know, this is what the elites do when the elites set up their puppets. They're the presidents, which is what? What is the verb? What does the president mean? It means the first lady. Yep. They set up the president so they can prescribe these different laws into action. The way Esau got it set up is, if I got it on paper.
Yeah, I got you right here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This is Wisdom Solomon 2:11. It says, "Let our strength be the law of justice."
See, it's not that pen.
Yep.
And when they sign it in cursive, that's witchcraft.
I'm literally living that.
Yep.
Because they're not going by their own law.
Yep.
They're going by their strength now. Fuck what my law says.
Yep.
We'll just put this at the bottom of the barrel. We'll just like, you know what? We'll keep this under here. It's on my to-do list.
When something is in the queue, that means it's next.
Yep.
All right. When
Yeah.
something is in the queue.
Yeah.
My lawsuit against an unrighteous decree has been in the queue for 2 years. That's the status of it. When you look it up, it's in the queue.
And they keep pushing it to the bottom.
So every time a new one comes in, they just set it right over mine and go right to it. And they don't. Yeah, because she refuses to. The judge will not pass judgment, because if she passes judgment, I win.
Yep.
All right, because I've proven the fraud and everything else that's connected to it.
Yep.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's fucking amazing.
Well, let Karaj finish that with
This Wisdom Solomon 2:11. Yep. Said, "Let our strength be the law of justice.
Yep.
For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth."
So we ain't worth nothing.
Right. So I can't go in there and smack the judge around and make a, and I did everything legally. I went to the Department of Justice. No, nothing happened. The Department of Justice didn't make the judge do what she's supposed to do. Then I went, what do they call it? Redacted, when you actually
black it out.
When you redact it, not redacted. I didn't mean to say that. That's another word, and I'm forgetting what it is. No, it's when you remove the judge to put in another judge. So I did that too, and yeah, nothing. It gives me the printout. I get the email that it's still open. My case is open. It's still in queue. 2 years and some change later now.
And then we also have a system that says you have a right for a speedy trial.
Yeah.
But that's not speedy.
That's out the way.
Yeah.
That's not speedy. That's 2 years, bitch.
Well, not when you're looking at opening up the floodgates to freeing people from a $15 billion scam.
Because
they go
right.
Yeah.
And because everything that the court does is put its own record. If they do it, it's on record.
If they pass judgment on my case, it will be unprecedented, and it'll be legendary in America, because it would open up the floodgates for everybody who's a victim of that.
Because they're gonna have to use that case.
Everyone will be able to use it
case study.
to defend
It'll be a
themselves.
case study. When certain cases, when they get exceed or go to the Supreme Court, etc., other lawyers and other defendants, etc., will use that, as they call it, quote unquote, as a case study. So then they'll use this as a precedent, and then they'll say, "Hey, judge, according to the Supreme Court out the BAM and case versus Ray versus Woe, this is about the BAM, they said this is cool. So now in my case, it's the same thing. You need to judge the same. And if the judge goes against it when it's already been proven by a higher court, they know there's going to be, they open for appeal."
Exactly. So that's the reason why, because it's exposing them. But let them finish that, and then you bring yours out, brother.
Yeah, so this verse 12, it says, "Therefore, it go back to you said, if you don't go along with his way, his fucking bullshit way." Verse 12, "Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doing."
Clean means 100% opposite. So whatever the Most High promotes, Esau's going to promote. It's like he went to the Bible and said, "Oh, thou should not kill, we kill him. Thou should not steal, we steal him." And whatever the Lord said, you do the opposite.
We bald face all day.
Bald chickens all day.
The little hat is like in the replacement of the
cover your crown.
Like it's like uncovered and it's wrapped around. Right. And not sitting on the side. You got that little hat.
Hey, well, you know what? It's because Haman the Agagite, the letter that Artaxerxes sent to the 120 provinces.
Vocabulary? I mean, sorry.
the letter that was sent to the provinces in the Apocrypha, he said that this is a malicious people to our kingdom. So, Jay, we are malicious. We are contrary to contrary.
Why do you use clean? Because we're the holy.
Yep.
You know?
So that means that shows wicked.
So the thing is, if we are still here, we are always going to rebel against this system. Whether even the 2/3 in their spirit still rebels against Esau. And how much more the righteous though? How much more the men of the Lord? We're by default is going to rebel against this. They have to. The Georgia Guidestones, those that's going to be kicked off. Oh, we in the first lineup for that. Jake is in the first lineup for that, man. That's why they said.
That's why Michael gonna come and put their ass
This is what we're doing right this live show alone. This is what we're doing right now. It says he upbraided us with our offending the law.
That's right.
He objected to our infamy, the transgression of our education.
So they know they teach bullshit.
Yeah.
They know it. And that's why that's not true education, because they're not really building.
That's why they got so many revised books.
That's it.
Exactly. All right.
Oh, damn, we got too much.
I went into that wicked ass myopic bookstore just to look to see if they had old dictionaries. And the oldest one was 1971.
That's not wow.
And no, the 1970s still got some good stuff, especially 71 and younger.
Okay.
74 and on down. You know, but you know, you're gonna get the best shit, you know, in the 30s, the 20s,
and pre-that,
things older, you know, and even the 40s and 50s will give you some good shit.
That's it.
Because Esau was proud and bold then, but bring out your scripture, brother.
Yeah,
this is the last
it's
two.
just like the elders were saying, man, this wickedness, man. They keep you these draconian laws, man, these wicked ass laws, man. And this is Psalms 58:2. It says, "Yea, in heart he worked wickedness. He weighed the violence your hands in the earth, of your hands in the earth."
Yeah, come. Go ahead.
And that's just what they doing, man. These wicked ass draconian laws that they write, you know what I'm saying? They pass these false decrees. Everything about this man is a wickedness, man. He does nothing right. Like the elders say, everything Yahweh say do, he do the fucking opposite.
You do the opposite.
Well, let change his spots, man.
Lord, tell him, bring out your scripture. This is the last one, brother.
This Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. Break the part of God.
It says full of it?
Full of lies. That's all they do is lie, rob, and they pray upon us.
Yeah, they pray upon us, and you can't believe nothing that they say on their mainstream media.
That's it.
That's right.
All right. Anything that they 9 times out of 10, anything they say on the mainstream media is a lie.
That's it.
All right. Read that one more time, brother.
This is Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
It didn't get mad when you speak out against them, man. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? You know,
right?
You're oppressing somebody.
It was like that idiot on the street yesterday that spit in Jake's face, and Jake floored his ass.
Yeah.
You don't spit in somebody's face.
That's an assault.
And then expect, you know, nothing to happen.
That's
right. That's going to be some sort of retaliation if you spit in somebody's face.
That's right. Because if you did that,
even if it ain't right then and there, you can, you know, there's going to be some sort of,
And according to the police, if you spit in someone or the law, if you that's called an assault charge. That's actually he was actually in 100% in right and didn't even have to run and dip.
Yeah, well, it was beautiful the way it happened because then the dude sat on the phone and played like he was so hurt, screaming and making all that noise. Little nigga woman came up, stole his phone, and took off running. He jumped up running. I thought you was so hurt.
Right.
Then when he jumped up running, the damn white woman that was with him took all his shit and disappeared onto the train.
Right on that motherfucker too.
So you know, so the same way that you know that the nigga woman is being left behind by her own men of her own tribe, all right, having a little party, and then no men show up, all right.
I love that.
And sent the text message, hey, y'all can do bad all by yourself. Y'all independent, all right. The same shit is happening with Esau. His woman is dissing him too. That Job 27:15 is going on, man. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, qadash.
Turn those machines back on.